All right, let's talk about something most people don't want to think about, but absolutely need to understand. The Panopticon. Have you ever heard it? It was this prison design from the 1700s where guards could watch every single prisoner without the prisoners knowing if they were being watched or not. So there's a tower in the middle. They like black out the windows so they don't know if they're being watched or not. And they are always thinking that they're being watched. It's brilliant if you're the guard, but terrifying if you're the prisoner. Now, here's what you need to know that same system is being built around all of us right now, digitally. After last week, you know this isn't conspiracy theory. This isn't paranoia. This is actual infrastructure being laid down in real time while most people are scrolling TikTok and ordering DoorDash. And today, I'm going to show you why it matters, how I woke up to it, and what you can do about it because before the gates close down on you. So this week you got a guide, have three parts to it: the cage you're building and don't know it, small swaps that can break the algorithm, and freedom in the Panopticon, living free in occupied territory. I go in, I talk about Palantir, and how it's like the literal mechanisms that are getting in place to have access to all global data and be able to process that information too. Now, let's remember where we just came from. Week 5, you learned how to master your body. Week 6, you built daily rituals that actually stick. 7, we pulled back the curtain on the systems of control. Last week, you learned out how to avoid wellness traps and actually get true health. But if you don't protect your digital life, none of that stuff matters. I'll tell you why. So think about it this way. You've worked hard to own your mind, to strengthen your body, to see through the systems trying to manipulate you. But if they control your communication, who you can talk to, what you can say, they control your thoughts. If they control your money, where it goes, what you can buy, who you can support, they control your actions. And philosophy without practice, it means nothing. So let's get practical. I'll be honest, I was completely clueless about all this stuff for years. 2005, Facebook comes out, and eventually I signed up like everybody else. Started posting everything, photos, thoughts, opinions. Never thought twice about it. Why would I? I wasn't doing anything wrong. I had nothing to hide. That phrase right there, nothing to hide, is exactly what they want you to think. Because I was giving away something incredibly valuable without even knowing it. My freedom, my privacy, my right to exist without being watched. I didn't care about privacy back then because I didn't understand what I was losing. But here's what changed my mind. I started learning about actual freedom, not bumper sticker versions, real freedom. The kind that lets you think your own thoughts, make your own choices. And I learned that freedom isn't something you inherit. It's something you have to understand and protect. There are studies, real scientific studies, showing that humans change their behavior when they know they're being watched. We censor ourselves. We conform. We perform for the audience, even if we can't see them. You can't speak freely if somebody's always listening. You can't support the causes you believe in if every transaction is being monitored and recorded. Privacy isn't about hiding something bad. It's about protecting your right to choose, your right to be yourself without performing for surveillance systems. Two things matter most: the right to communicate freely without observation and the right to move your energy, your money toward causes and people you care about. If those two things are controlled, you're not free. You're being managed. We watched this happen in real time during the pandemic, didn't we? Censorship everywhere. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of them. This just came out last month. Google finally admitted censorship under the last administration. YouTube, they axed a bunch of channels and now they're letting them come back onto the platform. You couldn't talk to your neighbor about alternative treatments. You couldn't question official narratives. You couldn't even share your own experience if it contradicted what they wanted you to believe. And when communication gets shut down like that, something scary happens. You become dependent on the authority to tell you what's true. You can't problem solve with others. You can't get comfort or connection from your community. You're isolated. You're alone, waiting for the official word on what you're allowed to think. And that's straight out of 1984. That's thought control. And that's the death of free thinking. And if you think it was just a pandemic emergency measure that went away, look around. Like, it's still here. It's just more subtle. If they can see every dollar you spend, they can control your choices. You can't donate to a cause they don't approve of. You can't support a business that goes against the official narrative. You can't help your neighbor without them knowing about it. This isn't theoretical. Central bank digital currencies are being developed right now. China's already testing theirs. Programmable money. Money that expires if you don't spend it. Money that only works for approved purchases. It's disgusting. I can't even say it correctly. Money that can be turned off if you say the wrong thing or support the wrong person. Your energy, your work, your time, your value gets trapped inside a system that decides what you're allowed to do with it. That's the Panopticon being built around us. So here we are. Track, trace, and database surveillance through smartphones, smart homes, smart cities. They're not just collecting data for ads anymore. They're building profiles. Complete maps of who you are, what you think, who you talk to, and where you go. Social credit systems are being perfected in China right now. 10 years of testing, and it works. It controls behavior at scale. These aren't future threats we need to worry about someday. These are current projects, active development, real infrastructure. The prison is being constructed around us while we're looking at memes and arguing about which celebrity said what. I hope not. But here's the good news, and there is good news. We're not locked in yet. The infrastructure is almost complete, but the gates haven't closed. You still have options. You can still build alternatives. You can still choose privacy. But that window is closing. If you don't set up alternatives now, right now, not like next year, like now, not when it's more convenient, now, you'll be trapped when they close those doors. Once central bank digital currencies roll out everywhere, once digital IDs become mandatory for basic services, once the social credit system goes live, your options disappear. This is the window. This moment right here. This is your chance. I know what you're thinking. This sounds a lot of work. I'm pretty busy. The apps I'm using, they are pretty convenient. Yes, they are convenient. And that convenience can cost you everything. Every convenient app is a trade-off. You get ease of use, instant gratification, one click, everything. And they get your data, your patterns, your profile, your behavior, your thoughts, your contacts, your entire digital existence. It takes sacrifice to build real privacy. You have to give up some convenience. You have to learn some new tools. You have to change your habits. But that sacrifice buys your freedom back. So, what's worth more to you? Convenience or freedom? And you don't have to figure all this out from scratch. That's the beautiful part. I did. I had no clue what to do, what to use, and I slowly had to start piecing it all together. But now the tools exist right now, today. People have already built them. Signal, used for secure communication. No surveillance, end-to-end encryption. There are more secure and hardcore apps out there, but Signal, it's easy to download, easy to start using. Privacy PCs that keep your data local instead of sending it out to the cloud. I worked with a client. Let's see if I can do this. I worked with a client to make this right here. This is yeah, there we go. I want me. This is my privacy PC. It's got a newer version that he's made smaller, but there's a whole PC in here, and he has made it so there are no parts that break down inside of it. This thing will last more than 10 years and won't get bogged down. It cleans itself out when you turn it off. So all that gunk data that just builds up and slows down all of our computers, that's by design. This thing will not slow down, and all the pieces that normally break down, fans, the power supply, it's all on the outside. This thing will respect your privacy. When you log in, you can choose your operating system. You can choose what level of privacy you want to interact with online. You just want to check the weather? Cool, man. You just hop on there. Actually, weather services are hardcore data harvest. But you just want to check the basketball game scores. You can just hop on low privacy, get that information. You want to, do some research like on Palantir. You can kick up the privacy to be high and essentially, not be seen using the internet. Having that as a choice is important. Creating hardware wallets for your finances that you control, not some bank. Encrypted email providers, Brave browser instead of Chrome, pre-search instead of Google. These technologies, they're available right now. We're going to talk more about that afterwards. They work, and they're not even that hard to use once you get over the initial learning curve. They used to be kind of really inconvenient. Now they're pretty smooth. You just have to use them. But let me first paint you that picture of what's going on and what's going to happen if we don't act. So China, they have a social credit system. They've had it for 10 years now. They've been testing it, refining it, perfecting it. There's some videos of reporters going and looking at it, and nobody will complain about it there. But if you do, you will realize that your phone is how you get around in the different blocks, in the different sectors, and this can turn off, and you're not allowed to leave like your block. If you post the wrong thing, if you are hanging out with the wrong person, they can turn that stuff off. Your funds and your ability to get around. And it works horrifyingly well. Because that social credit score, if you say the wrong thing online, like I said, the score drops. Then you can't travel. Then you can't book a flight or a train. Then you can't get certain jobs. And your kids can't go into good schools. See how that works? Don't support the approved causes. Can't buy certain things. Can't access certain services. All tied to your digital identity. All monitored. all controlled. And the people in power there, they're watching China very closely. They watch Henry Kissinger go over to China to help them set it up. And they'd love to implement the same thing here. And they're working on it. Digital IDs are the final piece. UK is rolling them out in 2026. They're being discussed in Congress right now. They're being passed at the state level. I think Texas is like processing it. And it's being normalized through convenience and to protect the kids from online predators. They need this to verify and monitor everyone, to tie your digital identity to every transaction, every communication, and every movement. Once your identity is locked into the system, you're done. No digital ID, no participation in society. Can't open a bank account, can't board a plane, can't access government services. That might not be too bad. But eventually, you can't buy or sell anything. And it's not a dystopian fiction. That's the stated goal of the digital ID programs being rolled out right now. Listen to UK and how they're talking about it. It's pretty terrifying. So what do? You build your escape routes today, not tomorrow, today. Get signal on your phone, get a mutual aid network to start talking on it. Practice secure communication. We're going to talk about mutual aid networks in a couple weeks. Get a password manager. Use different email addresses for each accounts. There's pretty cool services that will do that. It will create a new email for each thing that you sign up for. Stop making it easy for them to connect all your data together. Move off of Google, Chrome, switch it to Brave. It blocks trackers automatically. Stop using Google search. They're tracking every single time you use it. Brave search is all right. I like pre-search. Try anything that doesn't feed the surveillance machine. Start building a network of people who can communicate and exchange value freely outside the approved channels. You don't have to do everything at once. Start with one thing. This week, switch your browser. Next week, get Signal. Week after that, set up your password manager. Just small steps. Consistent action. Build the parallel systems while you can. Because this isn't about just you. This is about your kids, your grandkids, the next generation. If we don't build parallel systems right now, if we don't protect privacy and freedom now, they inherit the Panopticon. They grow up in a prison. They never even know what freedom felt like because we're at the fork in the road. One path leads to complete surveillance and control. The other leads to privacy, sovereignty, and actual freedom. That infrastructure is being built right now, but now they have also AI to process all that data. And that was a crucial component that all the pieces are now working in lockstep. Look up lockstep. So being aware of what's happening and setting up alternatives is the most important thing you can do right now. Because the technologies exist, the tools are available, the window's open, but it won't stay open forever. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one thing from this presentation and just implement it this week. Signal, browser, password manager. Take one step towards protecting your freedom because philosophy without practice is nothing. And freedom, it's not inherited. It's learned by people like you who are willing to act before it's too late.